பாத்தீங்களா என்னெல்லாம் பாத்தீங்க
சார் அந்த record production of high speed mail versus the geography requires soil எங்கெல்லாம்
ஓகே அப்புறம்
and only wet temperature literal states of Black Sea on of Africa
okay on of Africa then
on of Africa came on the Red Sea and the Egypt or
Suez Canal side okay
அந்த ரீஜன்ல அதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த கான்ட்ராக்ட் கன்வென்ஷன் என்ன அந்த ஸ்ட்ரெயிட்
okay
தான் பார்த்து சொன்னீங்க
okay fine then
அப்புறம் மில்க் மில்கோட கெமிக்கல் ப்ராப்பர்ட்டிஸ் அப்புறம் ஓவரால் லைஃப் ஸ்டாக்ஸ் ஆஃப் இந்தியா அப்படிங்கிற இஷ்யூஸ் ரிலேட்டட் டு லைஃப் ஸ்டாக்
all right good
அதுக்கப்புறம் முக்கியமான மேகாலயோட 50th anniversary பார்க்கணும் மேகாலயோட ஜாகிரபி அந்த செவன் யூஸ் பண்ணிருந்தீங்க சார் டெம்ப்ளேட் ஃப்ளோரா geography area, national college, tribes. முக்கியமா மேகாலயா ஆரஞ்சு அது பிளஸ் அப்புறம் பஞ்சாயத்து
பஞ்சாயத்து ராஜ் பாத்தீங்களா any questions on that particularly panchayat raj la did you go through the previous year questions panchayat raj quality test paper la did you go through the question papers questions pathingala right fine check today இன்னைக்கு வந்துட்டு we'll start with today's Saint Chavara. So இவருடைய 150th death anniversary is being celebrated in Kerala. ஒரு மிஷனரி வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், he was a missionary. அது ஃபாதர் குரியகோஸ் அல்லது செயின்ட் சவாரா. The special thing about him is the first Catholic male saint of saint ன்னு canonize பண்ணுவாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி saint ன்னு canonize பண்ண first male Indian origin. He belongs to Kerala. He is known for he was a social reformer, educationist and poet. And அவரோட மூவ்மெண்ட் வந்து பள்ளிக்கூட மூவ்மெண்ட், that is setting up of the schools in every church premise in order to educate children, particularly belonging to the deprived sections and Dalit students. அதுக்காக அப்புறமா he also started the midday meal scheme, free midday meal scheme school la whatever the school the church is organizing and the schools la he started providing midday meals for children in order to provide the children midday meal food and clothes books so as to encourage them to come to school. அதே போல he was he also founded the indigenous Catholic religious congregation of men. Just a minute, just 1 second. So he was the one who first founded the indigenous Catholic religious congregation for men, and later it was founded in 1831, and later in 1866 the first religious congregation for women was also established in order to, and they established a school for 12 children. So idella avar patti just to know who is Saint Chavara. This is something that can be asked or they may not ask also. It's a minor news, but it's a fact. So basic facts mari idha nyabam vechukonga, not much is required. Second வந்துட்டு Kalpana Chawla Center for Research in Space and Science Technology. Kalpana Chawla Center for Research in Space, Science and Technology. It has been inaugurated to commemorate the 75th Independence Day anniversary in the Chandigarh University. And Chandigarh University is to launch QSAT, a satellite called Chandigarh University Student Satellite. And it will be again, there are other India is planning to launch 75 nano satellites. This is a nano satellite. Right, it's a nano satellite. And Chandigarh University, to commemorate the 75th anniversary of India's independence, 75 nano satellites are going to be launched on the day of independence, and one among the satellites will be QSAT. One among the satellites will be QSAT. And after having developed this, Chandigarh University will become the first university in North India to have a satellite, and Punjab will be the first state, border state, to have its own satellite in space. So it will collect information relating to border intrusion, agriculture, weather forecasting, natural disaster forecasting, etc. முக்கியமா நீங்க பார்க்க வேண்டியது கல்பனா சாவ்லா 25 years back, Kalpana Chawla died out of the Space Shuttle Columbia accident. When Columbia satellite was entering from space to atmosphere, there was a failure of the heat shield. The heat shield of the satellite failure of the satellite caught fire and she died along with 6 other astronauts. And they were going to the space for conducting researches on various aspects, properties, how materials behave in property. Similarly, it was also discussing about studying about the microgravity. இதெல்லாம் கல்பனா சாவ்லாவுடைய ஸ்டடி அந்த கொலம்பியா ஸ்பேஸ் ஷட்டில் போகும்போது தட் வாஸ் சம்திங் தட் வாஸ் தி ஸ்டடி. இது மட்டும் நீங்க பாத்துக்கோங்க. Again, this is a very factual thing. There can be a question relating to nano satellites as well. So what are nano satellites? So nano satellites will be having a payload capacity of 3 kgs. And the total mass of the satellite will be up to 11 kgs only. ISRO nano satellites அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் வச்சிருக்காங்க. INS அதாவது ISRO's nano satellites அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அது வச்சிருக்காங்க. It will be developed as co-passenger satellite to accompany bigger satellites on PSLV launch vehicle. So இது என்ன பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னா, these INS satellites are sometimes இந்த மாதிரி universities கூட அல்ல student satellites மாதிரி universities are encouraged to develop satellites, and these nano satellites are launched along as a piggyback of other satellites. இப்போ ஆல்ரெடி 2 நானோ சேட்டலைட்ஸ் ஆர் ஆல்ரெடி ஐஎஸ்ஆரோட 2 நானோ சேட்டலைட்ஸ் ஆர் இன் சர்வீஸ். ஒன் இஸ் INS 1A and the other is INS 1B. ரைட்டா? ஸோ INS 1A and INS 1B இது ரெண்டும் இப்போதைக்கு ஆப்ரேஷன்ல இருக்கு ஐஎஸ்ஆரோட. அப்பார்ட் ஃப்ரம் தட் தேர் ஆர் மெனி நானோ சேட்டலைட்ஸ் டெவலப் வித் யூனிவர்சிட்டி. இப்போ இங்கே அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி சேட்டலைட் இருக்கு, அப்புறம் SRM யூனிவர்சிட்டி சேட்டலைட் அனுப்பிச்சாங்க. SRM University was the first private university to send a satellite of its own. Likewise, there are satellites. So, what are nano satellites? What are satellites as a satellite? Already, we have satellite launch vehicle. I told you, ISRO satellites we have not seen, but already I remember having told you to talk about UAS and Earth observation satellites. Subsequently, tomorrow probably we'll discuss that satellites as well. இப்போதைக்கு இத பாத்துக்கோங்க. The next one is National Tiger Conservation Authority. The National Tiger Conservation Authority has been in news for 2-3 reasons. see, National Tiger Conservation Authority was established. It's a statutory body. It is a statutory body set up under the Wildlife Protection Act. And why it is in news? National Tiger Conservation Authority is in news for news reintroduction of cheetah. Project Cheetah, reintroduction of cheetah one. Rendavathu Project Tiger. See, Project Tiger oda 50th anniversary celebrate avudhu ipo. அதே மாதிரி a new tiger reserve has been granted, approved in Chhattisgarh. The Guru Ghasidas National Park and Tamor Pingla Wildlife Sanctuary. These two are combined together and been declared as a new tiger sanctuary in Chhattisgarh. The National Tiger Conservation Authority, it is falling under the Ministry of the Administrative Ministry, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And the Ministry of Environment, Forest, our the ex-officio chairperson of National Tiger Conservation Authority, and the Minister of State for Environment and Forest. He will be the vice chairperson. Members, there will be 3 members of the parliament as members and 1 secretary. Secretary to Ministry of Environment and Forest will also be a member. The 3 ex-officio members are chairperson is Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Vice chairperson is Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, or ex-officio. Is ex-officio member. There will be 3 members of parliament will be members of this committee, this authority. National Tiger Conservation Authority. So, as part of the project cheetah introduction project, action plan for introduction of cheetah in India, no plan. So, in this, as part of this plan, the government is planning to reintroduce cheetah into Indian forest. At the first level, it is planned to introduce about 50 cheetahs. The cheetah is one animal, big cat, that has become extinct in India. Once and for all, cheetah extinct. India cheetah illa. And cheetah is the largest, widely extinct large mammal of India, and it is the world's fastest animal. If a cheetah oda habitat, cheetah oda habitat, then it lives in open plain, grasslands, mainly grasslands, shrubs and open forest system, semi-arid environment. But it will be in semi-arid environment as well as temperature, hotter temperatures, hotter climatic conditions than cooler regimes. This is considered to be, cheetah is considered to be one of the wild animals or carnivores that has less conflict with human. They don't have the habit of attacking the livestock. Because the semi-arid tropical conditions are clear. Already we saw Icrisat. If a cheetah would habitat to semi-arid tropical region. So cheetah is to be the cheetah Indian introduced from where? The Indian cheetah is having other subspecies of Indian cheetah is found in Iran now, which is also rated as categorized as critically endangered species. So on the gene we are trying to recreate Indian cheetah and we are trying to introduce cheetah. Cheetah where leopard where. Cheetah is different from leopard. Leopard and cheetah where. Former Munadi cheetah in India 4 states importantly where cheetah habitat was. Gujarat, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. There are about 10 sites they have identified for reintroduction of cheetah. The 10 sites have been identified, of which the Kuno Palpur National Park, KNP, in Madhya Pradesh has been rated as the highest possibility because it has the suitable habitat as well as prey base. அதே மாதிரி Kuno National Park, Kuno National Park is the only wildlife site in India where there has been complete relocation of villages from inside the park. பார்க்குள்ள villages கிடையாது, human settlements கிடையாது. There is almost no human settlement. The only wildlife site in India where there is no human settlements. Cheetah can cohabit with tiger, lion, leopard. It can cohabit. Cheetah is not a loner கிடையாது. இப்போ டைகர் இருக்கிற இடத்துல lion இருக்காது. Their habitat is different. Whereas cheetah can cohabit with both lion and tiger. Cheetah and leopard ஒரே மாதிரி. நீங்க இதுல நேஷனல் ஜியோகிராபிக்கோ டிஸ்கவரியோ பாத்தீங்கன்னா தெரியும். லயனோட ஹேபிட்டட் எல்லாத்துலயுமே cheetah இருக்கும். I mean leopards. Same way, the cheetah can cohabit with lion, tiger, and leopard. All the three animals they can cohabit with. And there are other top priority sites. Everyone getting na Nauradehi Wildlife Sanctuary, Madhya Pradesh. Then Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary, Madhya Pradesh. The Shahgad Bulge, Jaisalmer, Rajasthan. And again, Mugundara Tiger Reserve, Rajasthan. These places have been identified as the major sites or the top priority sites where cheetah can be relocated. I mean, reintroduced. Already we have seen several national parks in news. Already I have told you. Go through the national parks. If the national parks are the national parks are and particularly when you look into the national park, along with the national park, also look into the geography, topography, plant flora, and major animal system. இதெல்லாம் பார்த்துக்கணும். அப்போ இப்போ எப்படி பார்க்கலாம் பாருங்க, ஸ்டேட் வைஸ் பார்த்துக்கோ. மத்திய பிரதேஷ். One thing in the PPT what I will share today, I am sharing a map where the tiger is very much found. Just 1 second. For better clarity, I am sharing the map in the group, Telegram group. You can enlarge and see. The official map. Official map, they are showing where all tiger landscape எங்கெல்லாம் இருக்கு, where all tiger can exist இருக்கு. Plus அந்த green colorல இருக்கிற star வந்து it shows increasing tiger population and இன்னொன்று வந்து decreasing tiger population. That is not required for us. Where it is increasing, where it is decreasing, விட்டுருங்க. You don't have to be bothered about it, but just see the states. எங்க டைகர் இருக்க முடியும்னு பாருங்க. Shivalik and Gangetic Tiger Landscape Complex ஒன்னு, the Northeastern Hills and Brahmaputra Tiger Landscape, then Sundarban, then Central Indian, Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat. The Tamil Nadu, மேல அப்படியே ஆந்திரா, கர்நாடகா, ஒரிசா வரைக்கும் பாரு. ஒரிசா, பீகார் வரைக்கும் டைகர் பாப்புலேஷன் சார். அதுக்கு மேல சுந்தர்பன் வருது. So almost tiger is, I mean India வந்து it is suitable. India has majoritarily it has suitable landscape for tiger to exist. If tiger can exist, அங்க எல்லா இடத்துலயுமே leopards and cheetah can exist because they can cohabit. Lion and tiger together இருக்காது because lion வந்து open spaceல இருக்கும், lion shrubby and bushy forestல இருக்கும். Whereas tiger lives in dense forest but preferably in the grasslands. Dense forestலயுமே grasslands எங்கெங்கெல்லாம் இருக்கும் அங்கெல்லாம் tiger. So just go through the map And in the map base, to look into the climatic conditions, soil, hills and mountain systems, possible river systems, then vegetation, what type of forest you will find there. I would suggest you better to go for a tabular column. It will be easy for you to remember. But tiger, cheetah, leopard coexist. But tiger kenala landscape venumo, adella cheetah and leopard set out. அப்ப எங்கெல்லாம் இருக்குன்னு பாத்துக்கோ. அப்ப என்னென்ன ஃபாரஸ்ட் அந்த ஏரியால இருக்குன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த ஃபாரஸ்ட்ல எல்லாம் வந்து டைகர், சீட்டா அண்ட் லெப்பர்ட் கேன் எக்ஸிஸ்ட். இப்போ லைனுக்கு டிஃபரெண்டா இருக்கும். ஃபாரஸ்ட் டைப் will be different for lions. இப்போ இந்தியால lions are only found in குஜராத். கிர் நேஷனல் பார்க்ல மட்டும் தான் லைன்ஸ் இருக்கு. சூட்டபிள் ஹேபிட்டட் அங்க மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு, வேற எங்கேயும் இல்ல. பிளஸ் டைகர் எக்ஸிஸ்ட் several places. Since Project Tiger is also in its 50th year, National Tiger Conservation Authority's 19th annual meeting was conducted this year. They have commemorated another picture I'm sharing with you. The tiger area. It talks about the Kanha National Park or tiger area. The Kanha National Park is in Madhya Pradesh. And Kanha National Park and Pannan Tiger Reserve both were in use. Pannan Tiger வந்து நம்ம இதுல பார்த்தோம். சரஸ்வதி ரிவர் சரஸ்வதி rehabilitation பார்த்தோம்ல. பார்த்தோம். And introduction of cheetah, the action plan for introduction of cheetah was discussed and decided. And it was decided that 50 cheetahs will be introduced into India in the next 5 years in the 19th meeting of NTCA. And July 19th is considered to be observed as International Tiger Day. All right. So, geography related. And possibly you can also see the national highways alongside. Map national highways. And then the map law, whatever you're observing or you're studying in Atlas, map. So geography, I have told you to get in touch with the ocean currents. India, Puerto Rico, the national highways, especially the topography, soil, climatic conditions, forest types, then the major animals. இதை பார்க்கும்போது பார்த்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா போதுமானது. So next, Madhabi Puri Bak. She is the first chairperson of SEBI. Sorry, first ever woman chairperson of SEBI. இதுல நீங்க என்ன பார்க்கணும்னா, no more you have, இது again simple fact. Can be asked about who she is. Who's தான் கேட்க முடியும். Apart from that, they can ask you about SEBI. SEBI பார்த்துக்கோங்க. SEBI, NSC ரெண்டும் பார்த்துக்கோங்க. We'll discuss SEBI and NSC separately. SEBI, capital market, NSC. Because NSC chairperson, first woman chairperson, she was arrested for scandal. Right? So, economy, you would have studied about it. Capital market, you would have studied. Banking and finance, you would have studied. And SEBI, you would have studied. So, SEBI, capital market, then we will discuss about that. Then, microfinance. See, RBI has eased the norms for microfinance firms, particularly after the COVID. The collateral-free loan given to households having annual income of 3 lakh. Earlier, it was 1.2 lakhs for rural borrowers and 2 lakhs for urban borrowers and rents. Now it has been modified to 3 lakhs. Up to 3 lakhs income இருந்தா கூட லோன் கொடுக்கலாம், மைக்ரோ ஃபைனான்ஸ் லோன் கொடுக்கலாம். இப்போ இதுல என்ன விஷயம்னா, வாட் டு யூ மீன் பை மைக்ரோ ஃபைனான்ஸ் பார்க்கிறோம். Again, microfinance and microfinance institutions you would have seen as part of economics. பாத்துப்பீங்களா? அப்போ நீங்க அகைன் இதுல எக்கனாமிக்ஸ்ல மைக்ரோ ஃபைனான்ஸ்னா என்ன, செல்ஃப் ஹெல்ப் குரூப்ஸ் அண்ட் மைக்ரோ ஃபைனான்ஸ் என்ன ரிலேஷன்ஷிப், வாட் ஆர் த டிஃபரெண்ட் டைமென்ஷன்ஸ் ஆஃப் மைக்ரோ ஃபைனான்ஸ் அண்ட் ஃபைனான்சியல் இன்க்ளூஷன். ரிவைஸ் இட் அண்ட் கம். Revise it and come. We'll discuss what is microfinance. Microfinance la financial inclusion programs irukum. Adha pathina microfinance la micro loans irukum, then micro insurances irukum, then microfinancing for self help groups irukum. Adula da no frills account la varum. You have to see that as well. Complete ellathiyum paathukonga. Then the Constitution 14th Amendment Act. See, Constitution 14th Amendment Act of 1962. This year is the 60th anniversary of Constitution 14th Amendment Act. சரி, 60th anniversary கலாமா சார் அமெண்ட்மெண்ட் ஆக்ட் எடுப்பீங்க அப்படின்னு கேட்பீங்க இல்லையா? ஏன் அப்படின்னா 14th Amendment Act provides for unification of Puducherry, presently Puducherry, previously Pondicherry, with Indian Union. Under Article 81, Class 1, Subclass B, not more than 20 members to represent Union territories in the House of People. And the Union Pondicherry and the Union territory. This also I have already told you. நம்ம வந்து 75th anniversary of independence பார்த்துட்டே இருக்கோம். ஆனா 60th anniversary of independence of French territories. French territories வந்து இந்தியா கூட சேர்ந்து 60th year செலிப்ரேட், அதை வந்து சைலண்டா செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. நம்ம ஓவர்லுக் பண்றோம். Go through that. Already I have told you. சொன்னா இதெல்லாம் French territory, இதெல்லாம் Portuguese territory, இதெல்லாம் Danish, Netherlands, Holland territory பார்க்க சொன்னேன். Tomorrow you come with the facts. We will discuss it fully. அடுத்தது Article 239. Article 239A என்னன்னு பாரு. Legislature and Council of Ministers for Puducherry. Puducherry Union Territory கான So Parliament may by law create for the Union Territory of Puducherry a body whether elected or partly nominated or partly elected to function as a legislature of the Union Territory or a Council of Ministers or both. So Article 239A. That 239AA. What is Article 239AA?
Related to Delhi.
That is related to Delhi. Okay. Right. Article 232B.
Failure of constitutional machinery.
Failure of constitutional machinery to be applied for the same. How Pondicherry and Delhi, how what action can be taken and who has the power to take action with respect to failure of constitutional machinery. The procedure is same as what is given in Article 326. So the 239B என்ன சொல்லுனா, the provisions of almost, it sounds as the provisions of Article 356 will be applicable to the Union Territory of Puducherry as well as Delhi. So நீங்க என்ன பாத்துக்கணும்னா, Union Territory of National Capital Territory பாருங்க. Constitution provisions relating to National Capital Territory of Delhi. Constitution provisions relating to Puducherry. The Constitution provisions relating to Puducherry பார்க்கணும். அதே மாதிரி which are the as I already told you, which are the states, which are the territories that were under the rule of Portuguese that has become state of India. Goa, நீங்க போர்ச்சுகீஸ் ஸ்டேட்ல இருந்து கோவா விட்டுற கூடாது. டமன் டையூன் ஒன்லி யூனியன் டெரிட்டரிஸ் மட்டும் பார்த்துட்டு விட்டுறாதீங்க. Goa was also under the Portuguese control. Friendship,
சூரத், மசூலிப்பட்டினம், பாண்டிச்சேரி, மாஹி, யானம், காரைக்கால், சந்திரநகர்.
சந்திரநகர் Chandranagore is already, and 60th anniversary நாலதான் வந்து France government is sponsoring that. The French government is sponsoring to revive or to rebuild the registry building of Chandranagore because of the 60th anniversary of transfer of territory. So இது நல்ல தயவுசெய்து நல்லா பார்த்துக்கோங்க. சரியா? So Goa is also very important. ஏன்னா Goa was also ruled by Portuguese control இருந்த ஒரு இதுதான். Actually speaking, Goa வந்து it became the 25th state of the Indian Union. It was liberated from the Portuguese rule in 1961 and as part of Union Territory of Goa, Daman, Dayu till 1987. So Goa பாத்துக்கணும் important along with because of the 60th anniversary of integration of French territories. ஏன்னா இதுல 75th anniversary of independence வரும்போது UPSC may divert it to those areas. Next one, the prompt corrective action restrictions of the RBI. The prompt corrective action restrictions of RBI.
Consistent loss making or higher percentage 6% மேல NPA வச்சிருக்கவங்க வந்து பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா பேங்க்ஸ் ஒரு கண்ட்ரோல் குள்ள கொண்டு வந்துட்டு அது எப்போ வந்து திருப்பியும் நல்லபடியா ரிவைவ் ஆகுதோ அப்போ அந்த கண்ட்ரோல்.
So இப்போ என்னன்னா 2021ல RBI exercised the prompt corrective action powers against IOB. So the prompt corrective action is a framework under which banks with weak financial metrics are put under the watch by RBI. The PCA will deem the bank as risky if they slip below certain norms on 3 parameters, namely capital ratio, asset quality, and profitability. What are the concepts of capital ratio, capital adequacy ratio, asset quality? I want you to come with the explanations tomorrow. Go to the economics book, read about capital ratio, capital adequacy ratio, asset quality. Banks with capital to risk weighted assets ratio, the CRAR, of less than 10.25% but more than 7.725% fall under threshold category 1. And இதுல வந்து PCA எடுக்கறாங்கல, to take PCA actions, to impose the PCA restrictions, RBI will have 3-stage threshold வந்து 3 ranking வைக்கிறாங்க. Threshold level 1, 2, 3. So the banks with capital risk weighted asset ratio of less than 10.25% but more than 7.75% will be threshold 1. Those with the CRAR more than 6.25 but less than 7.75, 6.25 to 7.75 will be threshold 2. Below 6%, threshold 3. Sorry, threshold 3. The banks that have a net NPA of 6% or more, but less than 9% fall under threshold 1, and those with 12% or more will fall under third threshold level. 1, 2, 3 வச்சிருக்காங்க. இப்போ what are non-performing assets? இப்போ already non-performing assets is very much in use because more than 7,000 MSMEs have become MSME assets have become non-performing assets. Other news. That is also, but due to COVID pandemic, the impact of COVID pandemic, more than 6,000 MSMEs assets have become non-performing assets. Okay, you have to take into account that as well. What do you mean by MSME? Sorry, NPA. Apra MSME. MSME categorization. What is a micro unit? What is a small unit? What is a medium unit? Data. Aprama schemes for MSME. See, these things I suppose that you would have studied as part of economy. Data. I want you to revise and come. Data. So Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Ministry. We have a ministry called the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. அங்க போனீங்கன்னா அதுல தான் நீங்க ஸ்கீம்ஸ் பார்த்துப்பீங்க. What are all the schemes that, particularly what were the schemes that were brought during the COVID revival? And also in this year's budgetல MSME க்கு என்னென்ன ஸ்கீம்ஸ் போட்டாங்க? The budgetல highlights of the budget போய் பாத்தீங்கன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. You can see what were the steps taken for improving the status of MSMEs. உத்யாம் ஸ்கீம்ஸ் வந்து உத்யாம் ஸ்கீம்ஸ் இருக்கு. உத்யாம், ஈஷ்ராம், NCS and ASIM portals are to be interlinked. And emergency credit linked guarantee scheme. பாப்போம். இன்னொன்னு export credit guarantee corporation. சரி, எக்ஸ்போர்ட் கிரெடிட் தனியா வச்சுக்கோங்க, அதுக்கு எம்எஸ்எம்இ சம்மந்தம் கிடையாது. Export Credit Guarantee Corporation இருக்குல்ல, that is in news because of 2-3 reasons. நம்ம தனியா பார்ப்போம். That I will discuss to you separately. There are 2 reasons why it is in news. I will discuss that to you separately. Right? இப்போ MSMEs வரும்போது Emergency Credit Link Guarantee Scheme. That has been extended up to 2023. அப்புறமா RAM program பார்த்துட்டோமா? RAM பார்க்கலையோ? RAM நம்ம பார்த்தோம்னு நினைக்கிறேன், செக் பண்ணு. RAM already we have seen. It's a program to support MSMEs backed by World Bank. It will be extended over 5 years. Aims to improving the access of MSMEs to market and credit by strengthening institutions. Particularly the COVID-related revamping of economy ke MSME kaga. I think digital rupee oda சேர்த்து பார்த்திருக்கோம். Check with digital rupee. அப்புறம் வந்து கேன் பேத்வா ரிவர் லிங்க், கத்தி சக்தி ப்ரோக்ராம்ல பார்த்தோம்ல, அந்த டைம்ல one of the aspects நம்ம பார்த்திருக்கோம் ramp. So these programs can also be asked in your prelims as well as in the mains. MSME is important for your mains as well. Alright. சரி, அப்போ என்னென்ன பார்க்கணும்? செபி, NSE, capital market, non-performing assets, MSME concept, programs relating to MSME, then capital adequacy ratio, CRAR, Basel norms முக்கியமா பார்த்துக்கணும். Basel 3 norms of banking. These are all the things which you have to revise. You must have studied as part of economy. Go revise it immediately, and tomorrow we shall revise it and then we go. அது மட்டும் இல்லாம இந்த economy mark also fiscal deficit. Continuously fiscal deficit in news. And fiscal deficit is one concept that has been several times asked in the prelims, but in twisted manner. அது what is fiscal deficit அப்படின்ற definition bookல இருக்கும். Just don't stop there. What is fiscal deficit?
So,
total revenue of the government, sorry, total expenditure
minus non-debt revenues.
இப்போ இதுதான் சிக்கல். இப்போ இந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ல போட்டேன்னா எப்படி போடுவேன்? Excluding borrowing, including borrowing?
Excluding borrowing.
Are you able to get my point? Once it was asked, the term fiscal deficit refers to the total deficit of the government excluding borrowing. Total deficit of the government including borrowing. அப்படின்னு ஒரு தடவை கேட்டிருந்தாங்க. இன்னொரு தடவை fiscal, what does the fiscal deficit indicate? It indicates the size of the borrowing of the government. That's the correct answer. அதுக்கு இது ஒரு ஆப்ஷன் கொடுத்து other 3 options were there. So what is fiscal deficit ங்கறதே வந்து வேற மாதிரி கேட்டிருக்காங்க. So நம்ம generally what you have a tendency na fiscal deficit na நம்ம ஒரு mathematical calculation பண்ணுவோம், ஒரு ஃபார்முலா மாதிரி, அதை மட்டும் மைண்ட்ல வச்சுக்குவோம் normally. But that's okay. That is a definition. But அந்த definition எப்படி எல்லாம் எழுதலாம்ங்கிறது books will give you. Just go through it and come. And particularly what I'll suggest to you is if you have the previous year prelims questions, go back. If you have the soft copy, it is easy to search. Fiscal deficit. எப்படி கேட்டிருக்காங்கன்னு பாருங்க. It is important. Continuously fiscal deficit in news. Better. So next, Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. See, it was set up in 1957. And the company wholly owned by the government of India. All right. Its objective was to promote exports from country by providing credit risk insurance to exports. It was originally registered as a company in the name of Export Risk Insurance Corporation. Later in 1964, it was renamed as Export Credit and Guarantee Corporation Limited. அப்புறம் 1983 எக்ஸ்போர்ட் கிரெடிட் கேரண்டி கார்பரேஷன் ஆஃப் இந்தியா லிமிடெட்னு மாத்துறாங்க பேரை. ஆஃப் இந்தியா லிமிடெட். ஆஃப் இந்தியா முன்னால கிடையாது, இப்போ வந்து ஆஃப் இந்தியா எக்ஸ்போர்ட் கிரெடிட் கேரண்டி கார்பரேஷன் ஆஃப் இந்தியா லிமிடெட்னு மாத்துறாங்க. மறுபடியும் 2014 it was renamed as Export Credit Corporation of Export Credit Corporation Limited. சரியா? சரி, ஓகே, ஏதோ ஒன்று விட்டுரு. இப்போ எதுக்கு நியூஸ்ல இருக்குன்னு சொன்னா, India has cancelled the risk guarantee to exports to Russia and Ukraine. வார்னால இந்த export insurance இருக்குல்ல, export credit கான insurance that has been cancelled by India. இப்போ export creditக்கு வந்து கேரண்டி கொடுப்பாங்க. உதாரணமா நான் வந்து ஒரு பேங்க் லோன் வாங்குறேன்னு வை, that loan will be insured. புரியுதா? That loan will be insured. Supposing if something happens to me, நான் ஒரு 1 crore loan வாங்கி ஒரு வீடு வாங்கிடுறேன், housing loan. I have been paying the loan for about say 2 years, not 10 years, 10 years. 2 years I have been paying the loan. After 2 years I passed away. I have no more. Who will pay the money? So if somebody is not able to pay the money, the bank என்ன பண்ணும்? Creditor bank, no, they will take back the house. But if they take back the house, borrower is deceased, and if you take back the house, what will happen to the borrower's family? That's not correct, yeah. அப்ப என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா, they will insure the loan. நான் insure பண்ணுவேன் loan. Along with the EMI, I'll be paying a premium as well. So when something untoward happens to me, my loan will be paid back by the insurance company. அதே மாதிரி எக்ஸ்போர்ட் ஆகுதுல்ல, எக்ஸ்போர்ட் கிரெடிட் வாங்குறாங்கல்ல எக்ஸ்போர்ட்டர்ஸ், அவங்களுக்கு அந்த கிரெடிட்கான கேரண்டி கொடுப்பாங்க. கேரண்டி ரிஸ்க் இன்சூரன்ஸ் மாதிரி அது. இட்ஸ் a credit risk insurance. Supposing anything may happen. இப்போ வார் சிச்சுவேஷன்ல வந்து ரஷ்யாக்கு எக்ஸ்போர்ட் பண்ண என்ன ஆகும்? கண்டிப்பா ஏதாவது வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. அதனால they have cancelled it. And also another reason why it is in news abina, in the year 2021 the government has permitted the ECGC company to be listed in the stock market. It has been now listed in the stock market. So 2021 it was listed in the stock market, therefore it was in news. And in 2022, due to the Russia-Ukraine war, the government of India has cancelled the ECGC risk cover to exporters who export to Russia or Ukraine. Because the exporters will face commercial risk of insolvency or protracted default of the buyers. Either Russia export பண்ற, supposing Russian buyer வந்து default பண்றான், payment கொடுக்கல, or he is delaying the payment, or he has become bankrupt. இப்போ நான் இங்க ஒரு கேரண்டி வாங்கியிருக்கோம்னு பேங்க்ல ஒரு லோன் வாங்கி தான் அனுப்புவேன், கிரெடிட் வாங்கி தான் அனுப்புவேன். So who will cover that risk? That risk will be covered by the guarantee given by ECGC. The guarantee will not be given to exports to Russia and Ukraine. So next is economic sanctions to Russia that we shall discuss tomorrow. நாளைக்கு வரும்போது இதெல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு வந்துருங்க.